What's up, all you Outpost fans? Well, guess what? Garret is a free man. A new kinj enters the picture, and I'm joined tonight by someone who I am going to dub an Outpost expert. Don't go unleash your plaguelings because we have much to discuss.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Outpost After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Veronica Valencia, and joining me again today for her episode, we have Katherine DiSavino.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm so great. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Oh my gosh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. This is so fun.
I love that you're here, and I love that you get to provide such insight, and I'm happy to get to talk and bounce ideas off of someone.
Happy to fill the space.
Coming up in the episode, we're going to be talking about the new kinj, the new mind control kinj that Zed has, as well as, once again, their back and forth relationship with trust. We're also going to be talking about Gwynn and Tobin and the Mistress's bright idea to unleash the plaguelings, as well as Janzo still finding a cure, and Garret. Is he really cured? Is he not? I have some feelings on that. We're also going to be choosing our scene stealer, but before we get into any of that, so Catherine, I just want to tell you that I really liked this episode. It was really good.
Great.
I was telling you earlier about there was so much trust issues between Talon and Zed, but I liked the new introduction of the kinj. I liked getting to see more magical and fantasy type elements. I also really did like Gwynn, and just, I've loved her progression this entire season of how she's really trying to make being a royal her own and come up with the decisions that she thinks is the best, even though it's completely new to her. And the mistress, she's, we always kind of look at her as she's just always up to her own thing. She's selfish. She wants the money.
Yeah.
But she came up with a really great idea that was very helpful for Gwynn and Tobin in this situation.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it saved her neck a little bit, too.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like, well, I know I've been selling this illegal drug, but, I have a way to make this work in our favor. I mean, that's what's so great about Eleanor is she thinks on her feet, She's always on her toes. She can wiggle out of any situation. It's awesome.
She's always entertaining, too.
Yes. She is so funny. Robin Malcolm, the actress that plays her, is just so insanely talented. Mm-hmm. Any line sounds incredible coming out of her mouth.
Every line sounds so great from her. But yeah, so we already kind of talked the last time you were here about what it's kind of like to write on the show. But, as you get a different episode, how is it to kind of write in a different, a little bit later from the episode you already wrote? So the story right now is at a different place. So how is it kind of jumping into that?
Yeah, I mean, well, when you're breaking episodes in the room, you're tracking the story, even if it's not your episode that you're going to be writing. All of the writers, Jason, Kynan, Jonathan, and I, broke every single story. So, you're involved, you know where the characters are, you know how they're progressing and where their storylines are in this moment, where they were the episode before, and where they're going to be going, and you know it intrinsically. It's just to be a good contributor in the room, you have to be able to track all of that and to be able to pitch ideas towards I know, in episode 13 we want Talon to be at this place, so what are the beats that lead us up to that? Here's an idea. So you're constantly trading ideas back and forth, even if it's not the episode that you wrote. So it's great. I feel like I got some very exciting episodes to write this season, 5, 8, and now 10. And they've caught our characters at very different points in their journeys. Episode 5 was the one where Garret stabs his father.
Which, by the way, I've talked about this on the show before. I had some hope at the end of episode 5 that maybe his dad would still be alive and 3 were just kind of going to try and brainwash him as well and kind of start this army. And I still had some faith on episode 6, but I think by now I think that theory is kind of wrong.
Well, there's still 3 more episodes left, so
true.
We'll just have to see what happens. But now to have Garret in episode 10 with this shift, and he's off of the medicine that they were giving him that was making him susceptible to the brainwashing, and he's sort of been detoxing in Janzo's cellar. So he's not on those drugs anymore. He has seen the truth again. He's been around these people that he loves. So to sort of be able to be at the beginning and the beginning of, those arcs is like really cool. So we'll see where it goes, but it was neat to sort of catch him in 5 and write for that, and catch him in 10 and write for what that looks like.
And I know it's pretty collaborative in the writer's room, but was there anything specifically, because you wrote this episode, so was there anything specific you really wanted to do, or any risk you really wanted to take? Anything you really wanted to add
that wasn't in there, or that is? Or?
Well, it's not so much that wasn't in there, but something that you just really were excited specifically to write, or something you were like, let's try this type of storyline.
I can't remember specifically for this episode, because we throw around so many different ideas. If there was one that was like originated for me that I was like super gunning for, I was really excited about the plagueling plan that the mistress had. I remember like kind of breaking that in the room. One of my favorite scenes to write was when Janzo was talking to the cured plaguelings, and they're like kind of a couple. Like that was a really fun discovery to sort of be like, oh yeah, they should be together now. Like they've gone through a lot. Like they found their soulmate, at the end of this journey. So like that was something that I was really excited about. And like Garret climbing the walls of the outpost when I went to the set in Serbia, and I got to like actually walk it for the first time, which was when I was writing episode 10. I got to like see the space, and I was like, oh, Jake's a mountain, like I think he climbs mountains, like I'm pretty sure he could climb this wall. So like I wrote like specifically to that. Like there are little things that you find, in the scene work of your episode where like you have the big broad beats, like the beginning, middle, and end of the scene, like where, like why the scene is in the script, what you're trying to do with it. And then as the writer in rooms, we call them writer's opportunities. Like you find like the little moments that make you just delighted. Like Eleanor saying, "Here's the wiggle." Like that was a line that I wrote, and I just was like so delighted. Like I just delighted myself with it.
Or just like I knew I liked you.
Yeah,
that
I
one
knew
was
it.
good.
Yeah, I love that line. And like it's just, and then you get to hear this amazing actress or actor say it, and you're like, oh, that was great.
They're saying my words.
Yeah, it's so great.
I love how you brought up how you got to how you were able to get the episodes that really showed Garret at the beginning of his transformation, and kind of showed Garret
where he is now,
and coming to the kind of snapping out of the drugs. And I actually want to go into Garret, actually. So
I can't make you happy. Let's talk about this.
Because for everyone watching on YouTube and listening on iTunes, for me, what we were talking about before the episode was I'm still skeptical of Garret. And I think it's just because as a viewer, literally last episode, he was still so far gone that I didn't know just how long it could possibly take for him to completely realize how brainwashed he was, and to be able to feel like he's safe again.
But even in the last episode, when he was so far gone, he stopped the guard from killing Janzo. So, like how like there are bits of him that come through. It's a process.
Yeah. In that particular instance, too, I also just thought that he still views Janzo as a friend in a sense. I always thought that he still kind of had held some kind of respect or emotion for some of the people in his life. Obviously, Talon and Gwynn were the two people he was most against, because that's who he was brainwashed to dislike or to hate. Yeah. I felt like with Janzo, he was a little bit more, Janzo was my friend. He's not on my side, but he's not someone I want to see dead necessarily.
Sure, but I think that like Janzo is serving at the behest of the queen, and like even though he's imprisoned, he's like serving this false queen that Garret has been building up. So I think that like there are moments where you can see the Garret that we know and love, trying to like peek through the brainwashing experience that he went through, the trauma that he went through.
Sorry, I'm looking over my notes right now. So he basically has the opportunity now to really kind of realize that he has been wrong, because he sees the portrait of the royal family. Yeah. And I always believed, even though I said he's been very far gone, which he was, I always believed that I think when push came to shove, he still couldn't carry out his mission against Gwyn.
Yeah.
I remember specifically from like episode 3 when he was having a romantic affair with Sana, he was still viewing Gwyn.
Yeah.
So I kind of always assumed it doesn't matter how far
That was in 5, yeah.
Was that in 5?
Yeah, that was 5, yeah. When
Oh
he's
my
kissing
gosh.
her and he sees Gwyn, yeah. Yeah.
I remember that
Yeah.
specifically.
See?
Yeah.
Whole arc.
And I was like, I just don't think he could ever go through it. That there's always going to be a part of him that just really knows how much he cared about her and how much he trusted her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I never think that he thought he could actually go through with it. And especially now because he's not taking the drugs anymore. He doesn't feel like he needs to take the drugs anymore.
Yeah.
We really got to see him realize what he's done.
Yeah, and it's devastating. And I think that Jake has done such an incredible job this season with how he's been handling Garret. I mean, it's just, I feel even when, we were a couple episodes ago, I still felt so strongly for this character. It's a testament to Jake's acting abilities. He's crushing it.
Yeah, and he was dealt a very difficult task, I would say, in terms of his character.
Absolutely.
Because we've been able to see many of our characters grow this season. Talon, Gwyn, Janzo, all of them.
Yeah.
But his character kind of went backwards in a sense that, he went from like this really great guy with a strong foundation, and then he became a character people were like, no, why not? Yeah. Like, why is he doing this? Like, just disappointed, but in a good sense, because
it's drama.
Yeah, because it's drama. People don't want to see that. People want to see like the hero be the hero, but he wasn't a hero in this sense, and that was very difficult. And Jake was doing it very well.
Yeah, he's just amazing.
Jake, in case you're watching, you're amazing. But yeah, so, and obviously he's free now, and
yeah,
he's going to go fight the Prime Order, and I love how he's like, I need to go get to Talon, because they're a really powerful team. I'm curious, though, if he's going to be able to, like, if he's strong enough, because, I mean, they're a whole army, or if he's going to be able to deceive them, or if they're going to know right away.
Yeah, I mean, I think that specifically he wants to go after the people that brainwashed him. So I don't think that he's planning to, like, take down the entire Prime Order. I think that he has a very specific target in mind. But for sure, to like get into the capital and to do what he is hoping to do, he's going to need a little backup,
Yeah.
And who better to back him up than Talon?
I mean, Talon would be the proper person to go to, but she's dealing with her own drama.
She sure is. So Talon.
Oh, Talon. As Katie and I was kind of telling you beforehand, there's been this whole back and forth drama between Talon and Zed, because they're constantly like, I can't trust you, but you need to trust me in order to do this, in order to do that. Yeah. And then we come across that there's another type of kinj out there, and it goes to Zed. And so an initial reaction is like, is Talon worried? Because there's still a part of her that probably feels like she can't trust him. And of course, he's not telling her what this ability is.
Yeah, I mean, I think like, she even says like, I trusted you. I think that when this episode starts, they're finally at a place in their relationship where they do trust each other. They each take a part of the key at the end of episode 9 that we saw before, right? Like they trust each other to like carry it. It's not like I'm going to carry it because I'm going to carry both pieces because I don't trust you. It's not. It's like we're in this together. They become in many ways like a partnership. So I think that at the top of this episode, she's finally gotten over those trust issues, which is why when Zed does what he does at the end of this episode, it's all the more devastating for Talon. I mean, she's been in a position time and time again where the faith that she has put in humans and Blackbloods alike has been just completely undercut by their actions. Garret and Gwyn's relationship at the end of season 1, the Blackblood Varlic that killed the humans that were taking care of her, choices that Zed make, Reb, Gwyn in this season too, like commanding her to banish Zed without letting her explain it. Like her trust is constantly tested. And for Zed, I mean, he was tricked. He and his people were tricked to go through the portal. So he has enormous trust issues too. So it's just, it's two characters that are
And
always going to be at odds, yeah.
And they both clearly have sides. You know, Talon has been given the opportunity to find people that she respects, people that she trusts. And so she's always been, and I've talked about this before, is that she's always been kind of on the side of humans because, you know, humans adopted her. They took her in, and then she has her friends at the outpost. She's never been around Blackbloods, and Zed has only ever been about Blackbloods. I personally think at the end of this episode, when he went about it the wrong way in trying to have her open the portal, but I think he just so desperately wants her to see the truth that there are many different types of Blackbloods, because she even at times still kind of thinks that he is on Team Reb, who are a completely other different type of like group.
Yeah, I don't know if she necessarily thinks that he's like a full-on Black Fist, like Team Reb situation, but I do think that his open hatred of humans is disconcerting for her because she does have these humans that she loves. Like Janzo, the only person that's never broken her trust, and Gwynn, right? So like that scares her a little bit. And I think you're totally right. I think he you know, in like a very simple way thought that maybe this is how I can show her, like I'll use my kin, she'll open the portal and she'll see what I'm talking about. And he wants to get his people out of there. It's a terrible, scary, deadly place. Like he really, really wants to get his people back into a world where they're safer. So for him, the stakes are extremely high. Yeah. And it's just like a huge betrayal.
I know she has a specific mission right now, and that her mindset, her goals is that she needs to find a way to help Gwynn take on the Prime Order. Yeah. But I'm surprised that she went there not necessarily willingly. Like her kinj kind of helped her get out of a bad situation. But I'm surprised that she wouldn't want to go in there and kind of maybe test the waters, maybe see if there are Blackbloods that are willing to help.
I think that it's a tactical move. Like if she were to do that, I think that there are a lot of risks, and she would be on unfamiliar territory with monsters that she's never seen before, in addition to potentially violent Blackbloods. So yeah, I mean, to do that, she would need to have an ally and that could like help parlay with her, and doesn't seem like she has one right now. Yeah.
But I'm curious, because she is a Blackblood, and if she were to go in there kind of not having anyone know her past, I'm wondering if she would be accepted. In a sense, like when we get introduced to Zed and when she gets introduced to Reb, like they know, because based on the surroundings, they know that she is involved with humans. But Zed might not stay quiet. But like if he were to stay quiet in theory, and she were to go in kind of just, you know, a blank book or a blank chapter, I wonder if that would be helpful for her.
Sure. I mean, she said in the episode, I think it was 7 when she comes back from the Plane of Ashes, that it's like she could barely breathe. It's like I don't think that it's a place that she wants to spend much time. Like it's the environment itself is deadly. Like they've been there for hundreds of years. They've found ways to adapt to that world, but like Talon I don't think is eager to return to that place. Yeah.
Something that I found very interesting that was revealed at the end of this episode was almost basically the different levels of kinj, because we can see with Talon, her kinj is very aware of its host. The host, you know, pulled her out of the bad situation in the portal. The host was not right.
She summoned the portal to roll into. Yeah.
Because I also thought it was like the kinj could tell how she was feeling.
Yeah, the kinj is definitely in tune with their host for sure, and that's why like her kinj, she said like I can feel it fighting your kinj, like it's not letting you control me. So they're like creatures, they're aware. Yeah.
But his kinj didn't do that. Like his kinj wasn't aware of him.
Well, what do you mean?
In the sense that she also kind of made the comment of like, your kinj is not protecting you, but my kinj is protecting me.
Well, like his kinj is a mind control kinj. So like his kinj isn't gonna protect him against Talon just like beating the crap out of him. Like I think that it was more like a quip about the fact that he was getting his butt kicked by her. Like your kinj isn't protecting you, like that sort of a thing. It's like a you know, like a sword fighting quip. Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense, because I thought it would be kind of the introduction to different levels of kinj. Like some are obviously higher up or maybe have better special abilities than other kinj, which still could be true, right?
Potentially. I think that, the rules that we've learned is that a kinj will not let another kinj use its power against it, no matter the host. And that Talon saying, like, your kinj isn't protecting you, that was just her sort of, like, mocking him a little bit for getting his tushy kicked. Just a little bit.
And we're seeing a lot of this come to light because obviously they're still on the journey to try and, find a solution against the Primor. At least Talon is. Maybe Zed, I think, is just trying to get Blackbloods back into society since were dealt a really bad deck of cards.
Yeah.
So, she's obviously doing all this for Gwyn, she's dealing with her own thing at this point. We were talking about this earlier, how Milas, his deal was broken with, and now basically he tried to recruit Tobin the last episode too.
Yeah.
And
it was a great scene.
It was a good scene.
Yeah. It's a good episode, last episode.
And so, she's trying to come up with solutions, and no one wants to help her, which is very disappointing.
Yeah.
But what I would like to go into is kind of this new tactic, basically, which wasn't her idea, it was the mistress's idea of sticking the plaguelings on the army. And I'm glad you were actually here, Katie, because I came to you before we started this and saying I personally thought they were going to use the plaguelings as warriors the way that they were going to use the Lakiri as warriors. And I was thinking to myself, how is that possible? They're so uncontrollable.
Yeah.
They're so dangerous to everyone in the outpost.
Yeah.
So because that's how I read the scene.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you were here to basically say that wasn't the plan.
Yeah. The plan was just to break the siege. Like, they desperately needed to get Milas's army out of the way. So, they could send their own soldiers out there to fight, but then, Eleanor's point is like, they'll lose men and we'll lose men. And, like, the goal of this is to break the siege and then convince Milas's army to, like, come to the side of the outpost. So, like, the more people you kill, the weaker your army is going to be in the end. And so the hope is that, we turn them plagueling, we quarantine them, and then Janzo finds a cure, cures them, and then, oh my gosh, we've got a bunch of soldiers. Now, if that's going to be successful or not, we'll see. I mean, Janzo's having a little bit of trouble figuring out the cure. So
I would say it's less convincing and more almost blackmail in the sense they don't really have a choice in the matter. If they want to live normally, they kind of have to go because they're being promised a cure.
Yes, I mean it's definitely not great for the people that got turned plagueling. Like I feel for them in this moment. Like, are they going to be cured or not? We'll find out. So it is a little taking the choice out of their hands. But the survivors of the attack, Tobin said, it's your choice to stay and fight with us or to go. And I think that they would probably offer that same choice to the cured plaguelings if that happens. They're not going to, like, force anybody to fight in their army. I think that Gwyn's point is, like, we serve you, and we'll help you and we will protect you if you join us. And if you don't, that's fine. You can walk home, have a nice life. So I think that, that would probably be their move if they're ever able to cure the plaguelings that they've created from the siege.
That is a lot of pressure on Janzo.
It is a lot of pressure on Janzo. Is he up to the challenge?
He is. He always is. He knows where his strengths lie.
Yeah.
And I think also he would be up for any challenge because I think the more purpose he feels he serves, the further away he gets from punishment from what happened with Naya as well.
That's true. He's got, and on top of all of that, his mom, like, extra stakes. He's like, he's got to find a cure, right? Like, his mom got bitten. What's gonna happen?
Their relationship to me is so interesting because she treats him like dirt. She kind of treats all of her children like dirt, and Munt, there's probably a slightly more special relationship there, but he's still like a handyman. And so it's just really interesting to see their relationship.
Handyman.
Was that not but right?
That was so funny. It's perfect. It's great.
he's like, he does her bidding, basically.
Amazing. I'm going to tell Jason and Kaiden you said that. That's really funny.
But with Janzo, like, I guess it just kind of shows that paternal bond. And it happened with Garret and his dad as well.
Yeah.
Their relationship was really tense in season 1. But there was still always that respect of, you're my son, you're my dad. And they kind of got a better relationship towards the end.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's the same thing with Janzo, is as poorly as she treats him, as much as he's probably irritated with her, that he'll always see that as his mom.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that their relationship is so interesting. In a lot of ways, Eleanor kind of like negs her children. Like, like the more that she's like harsh and like critical of them, like the more they want to please her in some ways. And I think that for Eleanor, like she's only really known tough love, you know?
I love the fact that you brought that up, because I was literally thinking that, is it tough love, but in the sense that she is knowingly giving tough love?
I think so. I mean, I think that she's like a very brusque, witty woman to begin with. And I think that affection is inefficient in a lot of ways. Like, why be affectionate and loving when you can like order someone around and scare them and you'll get a much faster reaction? Like, I don't, you know, that's way more efficient. So I think that, you know, it's a little bit of that, and it's a little bit that she had a very hard life growing up as a girl in the outpost, you know. She's
probably not used to affection.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like she never got that, because she was always the second in command to her sister, basically.
Yeah, and left alone with their mom, and just, you know, she had it kind of hard, and she's, you know, made a life for herself, but she's made a life for herself out of being tough and you know, thinking on her feet and being able to get out of situations and thinking first of herself and how to handle a situation for herself, and second of the people around her. I think Janzo sometimes can bring out the best in her, you know? It's an interesting dynamic, and I think she knows that.
They work.
They work
off
well
of each
together.
other.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of want to get into the love triangle, specifically the love triangle of Tobin, Gwynn, and Garret.
Oh, my goodness.
We already kind of figured, this is going to be an interesting thing when Garret showed up on his horse and Gwynn left her wedding. But now it's even trickier, because Garret is seemingly back to himself, and you know, Gwynn and Tobin are at an interesting place in their relationship where it does seem to be becoming more mutual and less political.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they're such a fascinating, I mean, I've been talking like endlessly about them. I think that they're a really fascinating couple. I think that Tobin has shown more of what his true colors are, in a good way. And I think that Gwynn in Tobin has a partner that respects her and her authority and her power, and pushes her to be a better leader. So that's exciting to me. Garret would do the same thing, you know. So it's an interesting dynamic.
I think the thing for Gwynn that made her look at Tobin in a different light was his motivations, in the sense that he didn't want, like, he came in as a very harsh character, a character who seemed selfish, a character who was a drunk, a character who was inappropriate towards her.
Quite.
Very, very, actually. But he's changed, and we've gotten to see his motivations as a character, and he doesn't want, you know, necessarily power, kind of like how he came across as. He kind of wants a peaceful community, right, in the sense? And that's kind of what she wants as well. She doesn't want to basically run the kingdom that the Prime Order runs.
No, she would not want to run the same kingdom. I think she's, you know, hoping to return to the way that her parents ruled, which was a much safer, democratic place, if you can have like a democracy in a kingdom. But, you know, the Prime Order stripped away nobles' titles and, you know, are sort of like a religiously led society. And I think that Gwynn wants more freedom and wants people to go back to the way that things were. And Tobin very much supports that. He remembers what it was like when, you know, her family was ruling and he was a little boy. And so, yeah, I think that he's in support of that for sure.
You know what I just kind of thought of? And I'm curious if maybe in the writing you thought of this too. I don't 100% get a sense of insecurity from Tobin.
Insecurity?
Yeah, well, the fact that Garret is back. You know how because he's known about Garret.
I mean, you don't think that, like, hand grab was, like, a little sign of insecurity there? when he was like, you know, I'm excited for you to come back. We have a lot in common. And then he holds Gwynn's hand. I think that's like it's like a power move for sure. But that, like, you don't make a power move like that unless you're feeling super insecure. Like,
you're right.
You want to, like, but that's Tobin's play, right? It's like, you know, it's like, I'm a guy, you know, but on the inside, like, he's full of emotion and feeling and capable of surprising amounts of affection and sensitivity. So I think that, you know, he's masquerading like, oh, you don't threaten me, Garret. But, like, he's reaching out for the person that he knows could choose someone else over him. Mm-hmm. It's kind of sad.
It is. And again, I mean, you could also counter my point here that I just thought of as well. Say, for example, Tobin wasn't in the picture. I still feel like Garret wouldn't necessarily want to rekindle his romance with Gwynn because I feel like he has a lot of repair to do for everything that happened.
I think you're 100% right. I think that Garret is just getting hit with what he's done, you know? I think that, and he doesn't trust himself. You know, there's that scene in the bar where Janzo was sort of like kind of slapping him around a little bit, and he grabbed Janzo's arm and he like bent it backwards as if he was going to break it at the bar, and it's like it's a scary moment for both of them because Janzo, like, are you actually cured, right? Like, that's what he's thinking, and Garret is like, I don't know where this anger and this impulse came from. It's almost like he wasn't fully in control again, and that's a scary thing for him. So I think, like, you know, part of him leaving the outpost, part of him leaving Gwynn at this point is because he's afraid to trust himself.
I know that they had mentioned in the last episode that because he was taking that kind of elixir,
that elixir, the Kool-Aid,
the Kool-Aid,
as they're calling it on the internet,
because he was taking that so frequently, and they said that just in general, that type of thing can stay in your system for weeks.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's, well, first of all, timeline-wise, would you say it's been enough time for it to fully be out of your system?
I think that, you know, just from the actions that we saw in the episode, it's safe to assume that it's not fully out. I mean,
yeah. And that's another thing that I'm thinking of, too, is I'm wondering, because he was so heavily dosed, if there's going to be long-lasting side effects.
He's been taking it for a while,
and if he's not ever going to fully feel control. It's tough to say.
It is tough to say.
But I mean, I hope he gets it under control.
One would hope. I cannot. This is my stone face. I cannot.
You cannot say anything. You cannot reveal.
I cannot
anything whatsoever.
Yeah, but I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's back to normal. I don't know, but I do say that he would have long-lasting effects.
Yeah, and even if it's not, you know, the effects of the medicine that he was taking itself, I mean, he's going to have long-lasting psychological effects. I mean,
oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, what he did, you know, and for someone like Garret, who is very much the knight in shining armor, to know that he's hurt physically and emotionally the people that he cares the most about, I think that is something he's going to have to deal with.
This is just kind of a prediction on my part, but I really think that in the next couple of episodes, Garret is really going to be fighting with his emotions a lot, because I can see someone like Janzo, I can see Gwynn, and I can see Talon forgiving him easier than he can forgive himself.
Yeah.
They can clearly see that something had been done to him, but obviously Garret lived it, and even though he knows he wasn't in his right mind, at the end of the day, he is the one who still killed his dad. He was the one who nearly killed Talon, and he is the one who had thoughts of murder towards Gwynn.
Yeah. I mean, we'll definitely see how it plays out, but I think that is a completely fair assumption based on everything that we know about Garret and the kind of guy he is. Yeah.
I almost wonder if it would just tear him. I mean, I know you're not saying that, again, a theory. I'm just almost wondering if it will tear him down enough to the point where he won't want to live at the outpost. Because, yeah, I can see his character just being completely broken by all the actions he's performed while being brainwashed.
Yeah. We'll have to find out.
You got a really good, like stone cold, I'm not showing you any type of emotion, giving you any kind of
I'm validating your thoughts and opinions. I think they are amazing and delightful, and we will see what happens in the next 3 episodes. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Can you say that they're super exciting at the very least?
It's going to be, the next 3 episodes are going to be very exciting.
Very, very intense.
Yeah, I think the fans are really going to enjoy what's in store. Yeah.
Real quick, because we actually didn't talk about this, I kind of going back to Janzo and the Mistress's relationship.
Yes.
I feel like now she values him more than ever.
He's her only hope. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit of the self-preservation that she has, right? Like, she's going to treat him very nicely because...
Yeah.
Please cure me.
She has no other option at this point.
Yeah. Well, like when he kills the plagueling and she like very, very like calmly but firmly, but like not meanly is like, don't do that to me. Like, please don't kill your mother.
She will want to be his last test subject. She will probably require him to test every single plagueling that he has quarantined in the outpost before he ever gets to her.
100%.
And rightfully so. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a guinea pig.
Neither would I.
But she's gonna make it, I think. Because I would also be very sad if she left.
It would. I mean, we'll have to see what happens. You never know. I mean, think about all the characters that have that we've said goodbye to so far this season. You just never know.
I know. I have to keep reminding myself that if this show is taking risks, like people I thought that would be more reoccurring characters haven't. The drug man, Withers, all just
and this
up and
episode
died.
and
Dread. I like how you brought that up because it was
segue.
I know. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm learning from you, Veronica.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me because it was just a one moment. It wasn't a huge storyline.
Yeah, it was a small storyline.
But it was a small moment. But
a big moment.
I'll be completely honest. I was surprised because I thought when Janzo helped Naya, I thought that was the last we were ever going to see of her.
Yeah.
Just because of the predicament she's in, I couldn't imagine her resurfacing.
Yeah, I think that Naya showed us she has some unexpected strength in her. For me, that was like one of my scene stealers. Like I thought she did such a great job with that scene, and it is like a pretty powerful moment. She's getting rid of like a big bad guy.
She is. She got rid of the big bad guy, but it was so sad, kind of. Her seeing the realization that she did everything for nothing.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking, and she's lost literally everything. Janzo, her friends, like the safety of the outpost, her family, like she had nothing left to lose when she went in there to confront him.
And it was always really that whole storyline too. I know it's not necessarily on this episode, but that whole storyline too was very interesting because there was a high risk that her family was already out of the picture, and I think that's kind of what Janzo at some point was trying to get through to her head to make her stop, because she could have very well been doing that for nothing, and now we have confirmation that's actually the truth.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking. It really is. And I think that it took Naya getting to that place where she was kicked out of the outpost and, marked a traitor and all of that stuff for her to get the courage to do what she did. She had to become as broken as she was, I think, in order to take someone's life.
I just actually want to give a quick shout out to OMG Justin in the chat. I think you would be interested in this theory, Katie. He is saying, I'm worried if the three find out about the plaguelings and try to get Janzo so he can weaponize it for them. I think that's always a theory, too, because that's kind of what my head went to, was weaponizing the plaguelings, kind of making them having them be some type of army.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, we'll have to see what happens, but I think that Gwynn is not joking when she says that Janzo is one of the finest minds in the realm, you know, and
I mean, I don't think anyone thought she was joking. I think we can all agree.
Yeah, he is one of the finest minds in the realm. So yeah, it's a totally legitimate theory. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
You will. All right, now is the time that I want to go into our scene stealer. I think you already kind of gave yours.
I have another one, but you go.
Okay, my scene stealer for this episode was definitely the Mistress. She came up with a brilliant plan. She like you were saying, Katie, she showed us how quick she was on her feet, and it's interesting. She gets herself into so many predicaments, but it's amazing how she always finds a way to end up on top out of all of them. She got her sister out. She found a way to spin the craziness that she was doing in her laboratory, calypsum dealing.
Yes.
She found a way to be the advisor.
Yeah.
She found a way to essentially fund the outpost without anybody knowing. She's a very smart cookie, and I like how she's basically able to keep it all up, and she has this personality like, haha, you'll never find me.
Yes. Although I will say she did get a teeny tiny bit of comeuppance by getting stung
by getting stung by the plagueling.
Never soliloquize,
Yeah.
like never monologue.
But at the same time, she kind of knew the stuff she was dealing was not good. So maybe it also would have been wise if she just wasn't doing it herself.
Indeed, for sure. My other scene stealer is Brogan's hat when he walks
Oh
into
my
the
gosh.
night. It's just like so perfect. It's just like so feathers and like.
Was he doing that to try and be mysterious or like not make?
No, I think he just is making money.
He just felt
wants
fancy.
to be fancy. Yeah.
Okay, because I was wondering if he was doing that to
be
not
mysterious.
be noticed. And I'm like, dude, you're not doing a good job.
Oh, that would be a classic child of the mistress move for sure. To like be like, this is inconspicuous, but no, I think it's because he was feeling fancy, and I loved it.
Very good scene stealers.
Yes.
All three good scene stealers.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. So right before we wrap, I know you can't tell us anything, but you are excited for these next 3 episodes.
I'm really excited. Just as like as a fan now to be able to watch the last 3 and see the storylines play out, and yeah, I think the fans are really gonna enjoy it.
And at this point, so at episode 10 of season 2, is there also one particular storyline you've really enjoyed following or writing for?
I've really, and aside from the mistress, who's just like a delight to write for, I have so loved following Zed and Talon. Like it's been a storyline that I was really drawn to. I think that their trust issues are fascinating, and they're such strong characters that are both like broken in like very special ways, and to see them together like in the last episode and this episode, it's been really cool. I'm a big fan.
It's been nice seeing that there are other Blackbloods out there as well.
Yeah, and letting Talon learn a little bit more about her heritage and their situation now. I think it's interesting to me. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, sad but interesting.
I mean, I feel like it'll get happier.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. But not tonight.
Tonight. That's it.
That is all the time we have here for episode 10 of The Outpost. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And thank you again, Katie, so much for giving us your time here. It's always so great to have you in here because, honestly, you correct me on so many things.
No.
Well, not like in a bad way. You're able to kind of open...
I can fill in a little here.
You open my eyes to theories that I, by myself, would not normally see. I always appreciate that.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me come back on. This was super fun.
You're always welcome.
Yay.
Where can fans find you on social media?
At Vera DiSavino on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm Veronica Valencia. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at It's Me, Veronica_V. Again, thank you all so much for joining. Thank you again, Katie.
Thank you.
And we will see you for the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.